chosen one. This is what God was waiting to see from you. Finally, listen closely, and do not let your heart wander away, because something deeply precious is unfolding in this very moment. Something that has been forming quietly behind every tear you have cried, and every silent prayer you have carried within your soul. There is a reason you are here, reading these words right now, and there is a gentle urgency in the air that you cannot afford to ignore, because what is being revealed is not ordinary, not random, and not something meant for everyone. It is personal, it is sacred, and it is filled with a kind of love that only God can give. Type 333 if you believe. This is the moment where heaven leans a little closer to your life, where unseen hands begin to move in ways you may not fully understand yet, but your spirit can feel it like a quiet warmth spreading through your being. Something has shifted, something has changed, and it is all because of something within you that God has been patiently waiting to see. There were days when your strength felt thin and fragile, when your hope seemed to flicker like a small candle in a storm, and yet you did not give up completely. You may have stumbled, you may have cried, and there may have been moments when you felt forgotten or unseen, but deep inside, there was still a small part of you that chose to hold on. That quiet choice, that small decision to keep believing even when it was hard, is what heaven has been watching, with deep tenderness and attention. God was never looking for perfection, never demanding that you become someone flawless or untouched by pain, but he was looking for something far more beautiful and rare. He was waiting to see your heart remain open, your spirit remain soft, and your faith remain alive, even in the midst of confusion and silence. If your heart is feeling this truth right now, take a moment to gently show your support by liking this video, because this simple act helps this light reach other souls who are silently searching for comfort and healing in their own hidden struggles. There is a quiet story written in your life that many people around you cannot see. A story of endurance, of silent battles, and of moments where you chose kindness instead of bitterness. Even when it would have been easier to turn cold, God saw every one of those moments, even the ones you thought were too small to matter or too hidden to be noticed. He saw when you forgave someone who hurt you deeply, even when your heart was still healing from the pain. He saw when you chose to stay gentle in a world that often rewards hardness and pride. He saw when you whispered a prayer under your breath, unsure if anyone was listening, but hoping that somehow your voice would reach beyond the noise of this world. This is what he was waiting to see from you, not grand actions or loud displays of faith, but the quiet consistency of your heart, choosing love, choosing hope, and choosing to trust, even when the path ahead was unclear. There is something deeply powerful about a soul that refuses to give up on goodness, even when surrounded by darkness, and that is exactly what has been growing inside you. You may not have noticed it yourself, but your spirit has been maturing, becoming stronger in ways that do not always show on the outside, but are deeply real and deeply valuable in the eyes of God. There were times when you felt like nothing was changing, when your prayers seemed to echo back to you without answers, and when life felt like a long waiting season with no clear direction. In those moments, it may have seemed like God was silent, like he was distant or unaware of your struggles. But the truth is far more gentle and far more loving than that. He was watching, he was guiding quietly, and he was waiting for your heart to reach a place where it could receive what he has been preparing for you all along. Type 1515 if you trust in God. There is something sacred about the timing of God, something that does not rush or force itself, but unfolds in a way that aligns perfectly with the growth of your soul. If certain things had come into your life earlier, they may have overwhelmed you or pulled you away from the path that was meant for you. But now, Something within you has changed, something has softened, something has become ready, and that readiness is what heaven has been waiting for. It is not about being perfect, but about being open, about being willing to receive, about being able to recognize the blessings when they arrive in your life. God is not drawn to loudness or outward appearances, but to the quiet sincerity of a heart that is learning to trust again after being broken, a heart that is learning to hope again after being disappointed. That is where He moves most gently and most powerfully, in the hidden places of your life where no one else is looking. You may not feel like you have done anything extraordinary, but in the eyes of God, your journey has been filled with moments of quiet bravery and deep faith that are more precious than you realize. There is a warmth surrounding you now, even if you cannot fully explain it, even if you cannot see it with your eyes. It is the presence of something new beginning to take shape, something that has been forming quietly in the background of your life. This is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one that carries a deeper sense of peace, a stronger sense of purpose, and a gentler understanding of who you are becoming. You are not the same person you were before, even if the changes feel small or unnoticed. Your heart has learned, your spirit has grown, and your faith has been refined through moments that tested you deeply. God has seen all of this, and He is not distant from your journey. He is close, closer than you think, and He is moving in ways that will soon become clearer to you. A 7-second brainwave practice, once reserved for select circles and concealed in classified files, has now been made public, and many describe it as the 30-second miracle. Experts say it awakens a dormant brain center connected to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it is taken down from the internet again. There is no need to rush, no need to force anything, because what is meant for you is already being guided toward you with care and precision. Trust that what you have become is exactly what was needed for this moment, and trust that what is coming into your life is aligned with the quiet strength that has been growing within you. It is not loud, it is not something that demands attention from the world, but it is deeply real, deeply sacred, and deeply seen by heaven. What you carry within you now is different, because it has been touched by grace in ways that only your soul truly understands. There was a time when you may have tried to control everything around you, holding tightly to outcomes, to expectations, and to the way you thought life should unfold. That place came from a desire to feel safe, to feel secure, and to protect yourself from more disappointment. But slowly, through moments that stretched your patience and tested your understanding, something began to shift inside you. You started to loosen your grip, even if just a little, and you began to trust in a way that felt unfamiliar but peaceful at the same time. That quiet surrender, that gentle release of control, is something that heaven notices with deep love and tenderness. God was not waiting for you to have all the answers, and He was not waiting for you to reach a place where nothing ever hurt you again. He was waiting for your heart to learn how to rest, even when life felt uncertain, and to lean on Him without needing to understand every detail. That kind of trust does not come quickly, and it does not come easily, but it grows slowly through lived experiences, through quiet reflection, and through moments when you choose faith over fear, even when it feels difficult. This is the kind of faith that is not shaken by every storm, because it has roots that go deeper than circumstances. As you continue to move forward, there will be moments when you look back and realize just how far you have come, even if each step felt small at the time. There will be a gentle recognition in your heart that you are no longer carrying the same weight, no longer holding on to the same fears, and no longer seeing yourself through the same lens of doubt. This transformation is not something you forced or created on your own, but something that grew within you as you continued to stay open, to stay willing, and to stay connected to the quiet presence of God in your life. Type yes to affirm. There is a deep peace that comes when you begin to understand that you do not have to earn God's love, and you do not have to prove your worth through constant striving or perfection. That peace begins to settle into your heart like a gentle river, flowing through your thoughts and calming the places that once felt restless or anxious. It allows you to breathe more freely, to live more fully, and to see yourself with the same compassion that God has always had for you. This is the kind of healing that reaches beyond the surface, touching the deeper parts of your being where true change begins. There were moments when you felt unseen by the world, when your efforts seemed unnoticed, and when your kindness felt unreturned. Those moments may have left quiet scars on your heart, making you wonder if your softness was a weakness or if your faith was misplaced. But the truth is far more beautiful than those doubts, because every act of love, every moment of patience, and every quiet choice to remain gentle has been held carefully in the hands of God. Nothing was wasted, nothing was overlooked, and nothing was without meaning. The growth that has taken place within you is not just for your own healing, but also for the lives you will touch along the way. There is a light within you now that carries warmth, understanding, and compassion, and it will begin to reach others in ways that feel natural and unforced. You do not have to try to shine or prove anything, because the presence of God within you will speak through your actions, your words, and your quiet strength. This is how transformation spreads, not through force or pressure, but through genuine connection and heartfelt kindness. There will be days ahead that feel brighter, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because your perspective has changed in a way that allows you to see beauty even in the small and simple moments. A quiet morning, a gentle breeze, a kind word from someone unexpected, these will begin to feel more meaningful, more alive, and more connected to the presence of God in your life. This awareness is a gift, one that allows you to experience life more deeply and more fully than before. At times, you may still feel the pull of old thoughts or familiar fears trying to return, but they will not have the same hold over you as they once did. You will notice that you can step back, breathe, and choose a different response, one that comes from a place of peace rather than reaction. This is a sign of growth, a sign that your spirit has become stronger, more grounded, and more aligned with the love that God has placed within you. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. There is something very gentle yet very powerful about the way God works in your life, because He does not force change or rush your journey. He allows you to grow at a pace that honors your experiences, your emotions, and your unique path. This kind of growth may not always be visible to others, but it is deeply real and deeply meaningful. It is the kind of growth that builds a strong foundation, one that can support you through whatever comes next. You are stepping into a season where your heart will feel lighter, where your mind will feel clearer, and where your spirit will feel more at ease. This does not mean that challenges will disappear completely, but it means that you will face them with a different kind of strength, one that comes from knowing that you are not alone and that you are being guided with love and care. This awareness brings a sense of comfort that stays with you, even in moments of uncertainty. A rare 7-second morning ritual previously hidden in classified documents is re-emerging, and people are already sharing accounts of swift financial advancement. It takes almost no time, yet it triggers a dormant wealth switch in the brain that most people never use. Click the link in the description and comments now to access it before it vanishes. The journey you are on is not about reaching a final destination where everything is perfect, but about becoming someone who carries peace, love, and faith wherever you go. That is what God has been shaping within you, not just a life that looks good on the outside, but a heart that feels whole and connected on the inside. This is the true miracle, the quiet transformation that changes everything from within. As you continue forward, trust that every step you take is being guided, even when the path is not fully clear. Trust that what is unfolding in your life is part of something greater, something that is filled with purpose and meaning. And most of all, trust that you are deeply loved, deeply valued, and deeply seen by God in every moment of your journey. This is the place where your spirit begins to rest, not because every question has been answered, but because your trust has grown stronger than your need to understand everything. That kind of peace is rare, and it is something heaven has been patiently nurturing within you. The truth is that God has always been close, even in the moments when you felt distant, confused, or uncertain about your path. There were times when your prayers felt like they were drifting into silence, and your heart longed for a clear sign that you were not alone. In those quiet and sometimes painful moments, God was not absent, but gently working beneath the surface, shaping your strength, softening your heart, and preparing you for a deeper connection that would come at the right time. That timing is never rushed, because it is guided by a love that sees the full picture of your life, even when you can only see a small part of it. There is something beautiful about the way your heart has learned to remain kind, even after experiencing disappointment and hurt. That kindness is not weakness, and it is not something that should be hidden or protected out of fear. It is a reflection of the love that God has placed within you, a light that continues to shine even when the world around you feels heavy or uncertain. This is one of the most precious things that God was waiting to see from you, the ability to remain gentle in a world that often becomes hard. Type 1919 to receive miracles. As you continue to walk forward, there will be moments when you begin to notice subtle changes in the way you respond to life. Situations that once caused you stress or fear will begin to feel different, not because they have changed, but because you have changed. You will find yourself pausing instead of reacting, breathing instead of rushing, and trusting instead of worrying. These small shifts are signs of something powerful taking root within you, something that is not easily shaken by circumstances or external pressures. There was a time when you may have felt the need to prove your worth, to show others that you were strong, capable, and deserving of love and recognition. That desire often came from a place of wanting to feel secure, to feel seen, and to feel valued. But slowly, through your journey, something began to shift within you. You started to realize that your worth was never something that needed to be proven, because it was already given to you freely by God. This realization brings a deep sense of freedom, one that allows you to live more authentically and more peacefully. You no longer have to carry the weight of trying to meet every expectation or to live up to every standard placed on you by others. Instead, you can begin to move through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are enough, just as you are. This does not mean that you stop growing or striving to become better, but it means that your growth comes from a place of love rather than pressure. It becomes something that feels natural and fulfilling, rather than something that feels forced or exhausting. There is a gentle unfolding happening in your life now, something that is aligning with the deeper truth of who you are. It may not always be obvious, and it may not always happen in ways that you expect, but it is real, and it is guided by a wisdom that goes beyond your understanding. Trusting this process is part of the journey, part of the faith that continues to grow within you with each passing day. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. There is a quiet strength in you now that was not there before, a strength that does not need to be loud or visible to be real. It is the kind of strength that allows you to stand firm in your beliefs, to remain calm in difficult situations, and to continue moving forward even when the path feels uncertain. This strength has been built through your experiences, through your perseverance, and through your willingness to keep going, even when it was hard. God sees this strength, and He honors it in ways that you may not always recognize immediately. There are doors that will begin to open, opportunities that will come into your life, and connections that will feel meaningful and aligned with your journey. These are not random or accidental, but part of a greater plan that has been unfolding quietly behind the scenes. There will also be moments of reflection, times when you look back and see how certain events in your life, even the difficult ones, have led you to where you are now. These moments can bring a sense of clarity and understanding, helping you to see that nothing you have experienced was without purpose. Even the pain, even the confusion, and even the waiting were all part of a process that has shaped you into who you are today. Your journey is not meant to be compared to anyone else's, because it is uniquely yours, guided by a path that is designed specifically for you. There is beauty in this individuality, in the way your experiences, your thoughts,